Thank you for joining us for a public service announcement brought to you by Brookline Access Television. My name is Cheryl Reeve, and I'm here to assist the Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition in coordinating a really special event which is going to raise money to support efforts towards breast cancer prevention. I'm a volunteer for MBCC, and I'm also the co-head chair for the statewide Against the Tide Committee. There are many breast cancer organizations out there. The Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition does stand out and is unique because our sole focus is on the prevention of breast cancer. This summer, MBCC is going to host the 24th Against the Tide event in Hopkinton and the 17th event, which is held annually at Cape Cod. The events include a 1-mile swim, a 2-mile kayak, a 3-mile walk, and a 5 or 10K run. The events can be very competitive or they can be for recreational athletes. The registration is $40 for the first event. This is new this year, and we'll make it a great event, and $40 for the second event or the third event. You can do any combination of the events. The funds raised by the Against the Tide events are used so that MBCC can further their outreach to the community. MBCC provides education to the public and advocates for research, and also helps out with any kind of legislation that is going on that we're concerned about. So today, to tell us a bit more, I have a panel here, including Mary Alice O'Connor, her daughter Paige O'Connor, and my son Daniel Reeve. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Mary Alice O'Connor is our Hopkinton statewide committee chairwoman, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about MBCC today.
Thanks, Cheryl. I'm happy to be here. I became involved with MBCC back in 2006 when we moved to Hopkinton, Massachusetts, and I saw a lawn sign for the Against the Tide event. So I went on the website, mbcc.org, and I investigated a little further on this organization. And what attracted me most to the organization was their mission of prevention. Having known too many people who have been affected by breast cancer, the thought of preventing it really attracted me to the organization.
Okay, great. And how did you first get involved with MBCC and Against the Tide?
In 2006, I did the Against the Tide event out at Nickerson State Park in Brewster, and many years since I've participated in Hopkinton, where I live. I enjoy swimming, so the swim is what attracted me most. I also have run the event. I've walked the event with my daughters when they were younger, and since then they've participated in the run as well. So it's a great event because if you're a swimmer, you can swim. If you're a swimmer and a runner, you can swim and do the run. And it attracts people of all ages and areas, walks of life.
Fantastic. Would you like to tell us any personal story about being affected by breast cancer?
Certainly. My mother was diagnosed, unfortunately, in 1987. She had a reoccurrence in 2003. We also have had a couple of good friends in the neighborhood affected by breast cancer, as well as in our town. There's at least 8 to 10 women we know of who had breast cancer, and also an older gentleman. It really got me thinking that there must be something more to this than just genetics. And again, that's what MBCC does. That's their mission, to figure out what environmental factors or carcinogens could be affecting us in our daily life. So if we could figure out what they are and prevent them, I think that would benefit everybody.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that personal story. I know that originally a good friend of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I immediately felt very helpless. And I said, what do I say to her? What can I do? Why does she have breast cancer? And she's so young. So similar to many people, we have friends, we have family that have been affected severely by this disease. My sister-in-law, unfortunately, was also recently diagnosed. She had to undergo a lot of treatments while taking care of 3 kids and her husband. So it's affecting a lot of people, and I think everyone here agrees that we're trying to help prevent breast cancer because that's our mission. One thing I wanted to say also is that there are a lot of prevention techniques that people can do right now at home. If you go onto your computer to mbcc.org, there are lots of pages of information there. There are tips on reducing your exposure to toxic chemicals. One thing I will say is that if you start reading labels, you're going to start learning a lot. Labels for any kind of consumer products, including furniture, clothing, cleaning products, cosmetics. Start being aware of what those words mean on the labels. You can check out mbcc.org for specific names of chemicals to be careful of for breast cancer prevention. That's one thing that makes the Against the Tide event so great, is it is a family-oriented event. You can bring your kids, you can bring your family, and everyone can do a different type of event. You can swim, walk, kayak, or run. Mary Alice, why is this event so important to help MBCC?
Well, I think if you can gather your friends and family and form teams and raise the money for the registration, which is $40 for one event and $40 thereafter for additional events, and go on the website mbcc.org/swim to register. It's super easy. And if you come as a family, you all can participate. One of you can walk, one of you can kayak. We often see many survivors participating in the event.
Yes.
And if we all work together and raise money to prevent the disease, then down the road we won't have to treat it, which would be phenomenal.
Yes, I agree. I agree that if everyone reaches out to their friends and their family and groups that they know of, we need a lot of volunteers this year. We need a lot of participants this year. You can help out by hanging up posters. You can help out by spreading the word about Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition. You can register today. You can start your own team. So there are lots of ways that people can help out. If anyone's near their computer right now, you can go onto the website mbcc.org/swim, and you can find out all about the Against the Tide events that are going to be in Hopkinton and Brewster in 2016. You can also call our number. It's 1-800-649-MBCC. And on your computer, when you go to that mbcc.org/swim, you'll see the events and schedule are posted there. We have a 1-mile swim and a 2-mile kayak, a 3-mile walk, and a 5K or 10K run. And you can do a combination of those. The registration starts at 7 a.m. in the morning, and the events get going at 8:30. We start the competitive swim and the 5K run and 10K run. Then the walk starts at 8:50. At 9:45, the recreational swim, and at 10:45, the kayak. So you're all done by noon, so you can go on to other barbecues and other family activities. Again, the dates are Saturday, June 18th, 2016, at DCR's Hopkinton State Park in Hopkinton, Mass., and Saturday, August 20th, 2016, at DCR's Nickerson State Park in Brewster, Mass. And you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Next, I'd like to introduce Mary Alice's daughter, Paige O'Connor. Paige, we're so happy that you could join us today.
Thank you.
It's nice to see the families coming out to support MBCC. Can you tell us a little bit about MBCC and your involvement?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. When my mom first did MBCC in 2006, I was about 5 years old, and it really started with the kids coloring station. Like, that's what got me hooked. My 2 other sisters and I, we both went there, and we weren't really paying attention to it. But then as I got older, I joined Girl Scouts, and that was a great way to involve myself in community service. And my mom had been doing this for years now, and I suddenly realized that this was a huge, huge topic that was covered every day. Like, October is dedicated to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I decided, you know what, I want my mom's, I want this event to be more recognized, and I want people to get more involved with it. So I said to my Girl Scout troop, why don't we do this for our silver award? And what we did was we took, like you said, cosmetics, furniture, we took all those labels and we analyzed them and we took them into consideration, like how is this involved with the cause of breast cancer. And when we figured out that a lot of cosmetics have it, we wanted to kind of help MBCC and involve ourselves with it. So we went there and we talked to Cheryl Osmo, and we made sure that we were able to get involved and volunteer and set up a poster board for our Girl Scout troop as well as other people in the neighborhood to let them know of what dangers are and how to help yourself, and how MBCC is a great event to kind of involve yourself with fun and like activities that you can do for your kids, for yourself. Like they have the Wall of Honor where you write your name. And because of my grandma passing away from breast cancer, it's just really emotional and inspiring to be there, because you start to realize this isn't something you think about every day, but with MBCC you really get thinking that this is something we should be considering more as a community, and how Massachusetts is one of the top ones for having breast cancer causes and stuff like that. So I feel like we should really involve ourselves more for this event.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paige, for explaining that. That sounds like a really fun project, pretty involved, and it took you all a long time, I'm sure, to go through all that research, but I bet you learned a lot.
Yeah.
And that's another great thing about Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition and Against the Tide. It reaches out to the community and gets people more involved, and it also builds awareness of what is out there. A lot of times we speak with people and they don't really have any awareness that there could potentially be dangerous carcinogens in the products that we buy and in our environment, in our water, in our air. So thank you very much for working with the Girl Scouts and bringing that awareness. Why should the Massachusetts residents get involved? What about this event is important?
Well, it's usually people don't see each other as often as they would like. Like, you don't see friends from different towns as often as they like. So this is a great way to get active as well as involved. You can call your friends who live in a different town and say, let's form a team and do MBCC, because you may know someone, they may know someone, they may be someone who has breast cancer. And I feel like if we slowly build other people from different parts, we can slowly get the entire state to join together. And really, this is one of those events where everyone bonds, and strangers say, oh, I survived breast cancer, I'm a survivor for 10 years, and the person will be, oh, I was recently diagnosed. And it's just, it's emotional to see. I once saw someone coming out of the water after their swim, tears of joy because they finished it in such a great time, and I heard her talking about her survivor story, and it just gives your heart just warms up extremely. And I feel like if we got everyone slowly to do it, and it would evolve, and it would take not only Massachusetts, but slowly New England and hopefully the United States.
Oh, thank you, Paige. That was very inspiring. I hope that we can do all of those things. I agree with you that the Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition is reaching out to the community, and that's growing. I mean, it starts in places like the Cape and in Hopkinton, and then I know that the Boston community is very involved, and I know we've been moving further west to where we live in Sturbridge, and even we've been involved in going out to Springfield and educating people out there and making them aware of the potential toxins that are in the environment and how we can avoid those. So thank you for all of your involvement. The next person that I would like to introduce is my son, Daniel Reeve. Daniel has been involved with MBCC, as Paige has been, for quite a few years, as he's been tagging along with Mom and now getting much more involved. Daniel and my husband Fritz and I have been participating in the Against the Tide events for a number of years, and we each can do a different combination of events, or we can go together in the events. So it's a lot of fun because it's pretty flexible like that. So Daniel, maybe you can tell us a little something about MBCC.
Well, MBCC is an organization dedicated to preventing environmental causes of breast cancer.
Okay. And how did you initially get involved with MBCC?
Well, I started helping you with hanging up posters and kind of spreading the word. And then I did the 5K, and this will be my 4th year participating in the Against the Tide event. I plan to run the 5K and to do the kayak.
Great. I'll be right there with you on the 5K. First few years, I always won. Now he always
Now
wins.
he's taking over.
So it's a fun family event. And how can people get involved? How would you involve young people in this event?
Well, you can register for a team. Every year I invite friends from my town, from my ski club, from my baseball teams, to come and join me in the events. If you are on a track team or swim team, or you're a student interested in community service, start a team. It's fun because each team member can choose their events: swim, kayak, walk, or run. It's great practice if you're competitive, but also fun if you're a recreational athlete.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I know there were several people at last year's event and the year before that were training for big upcoming triathlons. Mm-hmm. There are people getting ready for marathons. We have a lot of swimmers that are on swim teams that love the fact that we have outdoor swimming events available. They don't get to do that very often. So it's great for, as Daniel said, competitive athletes, but if you're just walking and you enjoy that, please come on out and join us and do the walk. That would be great also. I know that Daniel is in our house and we're kind of on the lookout all the time, like Paige said, for labels and for consumer product information so that we can make some safe decisions for our healthy family. Daniel, can you give us a tip on something we could do to prevent breast cancer?
Yeah, we are always learning about how to stay healthy. But one tip to avoid toxic chemicals is to eat fresh, organic food.
Okay, thank you. That is something that we try to do in our house, and we try to do our best also to pay attention to the information on mbcc.org so that we can avoid any of those toxic chemicals. I'd like to thank you, Daniel, for all your help, and I'm so happy that our kids and lots of other kids are getting involved. I know Daniel's been asking more friends each year to come and join us, and so it's been growing and getting bigger, which is great. I know that in Massachusetts, breast cancer is one of the highest rates in the entire country. That's very concerning. That's concerning to people that live here. That's concerning to people that have relatives that live here. And we're all wondering, why is that? What is causing all of this breast cancer in Massachusetts? That is the focus of MBCC. Try to determine what's going on and can we change some things? Can we change some laws? Can we notify people of the dangers of certain products? I wanted to ask Mary Alice to share with us some more about the breast cancer rate being so high in Massachusetts.
Well, as you mentioned, it is very concerning that Massachusetts is one of the top states for breast cancer. Also, it's determined that 70% of women who are diagnosed don't even have a hereditary component involved. So that's very concerning. On our street alone, as I mentioned earlier, 2 of my girlfriends, one succumbed to breast cancer, unfortunately. So it's a big concern, and it really makes you start to think and wonder. There's got to be something more to it than just genetics, and that's the mission on Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition's part. They're looking for the reason for it to prevent it. The other component of MBCC that really attracted me was 100% of their funds raised go to that mission. Word of mouth is huge for this organization, telling your friends, teammates, Girl Scout troops, Boy Scout troops, because 100% of the money they raise at Against the Tide go toward their research, which I thought was fantastic.
That is fantastic, and we're very excited for the upcoming events. Against the Tide, again, is going to be on Saturday, June 18th, 2016 at DCR's Hopkinton State Park in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. and on Saturday, August 20th, 2016, at DCR's Nickerson State Park in Brewster, Massachusetts. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. I encourage everybody to go to mbcc.org to find out more information. And Mary Alice, maybe you can remind people how to register for the event?
Yes, it's quite easy. Again, it's mbcc.org/swim. And as we said before, the first event is $40. Every event thereafter is an additional $40. And we would love to encourage above and beyond that. And there will be a discounted rate for students and seniors this year, which is tremendous.
Yes, we're trying to make it very affordable so everybody can join in. And don't forget that we need lots of volunteers to help out with the event, to help out before the event. And if you're looking for community service, this is a great idea for kids that are looking for something to do, or for adults that just want to reach out and be more involved in the community. I'd like to thank everyone here for coming today and sharing their ideas with us. Mary Alice, did you want to add anything to that?
Well, I just look forward to the event. I hope it's nice and warm. The water in Hopkinton is perfect. I've swam in the reservoir at Hopkinton as well as Nickerson State Park, and it's always quite enjoyable. Very family-friendly, relaxed, no stress day. And the walk and run are a lovely little course. A rolling hill here and there, but nothing at all.
What do you
That
think,
bad.
Daniel? It's just a rolling hill. The first year it seemed like a little bit tougher hill, but they get easier each year.
Each year, that's right. And again, I just couldn't encourage more. Get the Girl Scouts, get your troops involved to do community service projects, Boy Scout badges. It'd be phenomenal. Moms groups in town to walk with their strollers.
Yeah,
It's a great opportunity.
I agree. Anyone that is looking for, again, something to do on a weekend that involves fitness and family health, Against the Tide is a great event for that. And the parks are beautiful, and you'll probably make some new friends. So I hope that everyone can come out and join us. One more time, it's mbcc.org/swim. You can register online, or you can call. Our number is 1-800-649-MBCC. It's $40 to register for the first event, so it's very affordable, and $40 thereafter. We do have some discounts for seniors and for students. And again, we hope that everyone will get involved. I'd like to thank everybody here that came out in support of MBCC. And I also want to thank Brookline Access Television. And I want to say a special thank you, and I'm sure you will all add in, to everyone that's helped support MBCC over the years. I know that we have a team that Daniel and Fritz and I are on, called Sturbridge Team, that we've had different people add on with us every year. We've had a different variety, and we also have had a lot of donations from family and friends. So I'd also just like to thank our family and our friends, and sometimes people I just met that give $10 or $20 to help prevent breast cancer. So once again, thank you everyone, and please go to the website mbcc.org.